And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avantes, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? We're at episode 225. Oh my gosh, we're creeping up on 5 years of this thing.
That's right, October of this year will be our 5-year anniversary. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Do we not have any lives? No, I've loved doing this show. Before we get into news, I just want to reach out. I know right now we're in a tough time across the country. A lot of people are out of work. A lot of people have had their schedules completely changed, and you would think with more free time you have more time to listen to podcasts. I can personally tell you that's not the case. I listen to podcasts while I'm at work, kind of in my ear while I do my work. Well, when I'm not working, I'm at home. I got other things. I got busy projects. I got housework because I'm laid off right now, and I've been having to find time to put iTunes up on my computer and listen to podcasts. So people that are still listening to our podcast right now, especially during the time that we're going through right now, I just want to say thank you. Really appreciate you guys just giving us the support of listening to our content, and we really hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Actually, had a conversation this week on Twitter with a friend of our show, Ziggy Sarah, about, how listening times change when you're at home versus when you're at work. And, I have about a 40-minute commute every day from home to work, and I always listen to audiobooks and podcasts, and looking at my Audible listening stats, it's just like downhill for the last
Yeah,
3 months. It's crazy, but
that's what I found out. And then also, kind of top of the show, I want to reach out. Um, right now, we're in a difficult time, and I don't just mean the pandemic. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Black Lives Matter movement, and I have a lot of friends that literally live 2, maybe 3 blocks away from the protesting sites that are fearing for their lives because of the anti-protesters and the endangerment going on because of the amount of people that are trying to silence the Black Lives Movement. And I just want to reach out and say, if you are in a position to be able to help the Black Lives Movement through donations or your own time, please consider doing so. And we here at Hero Power support Black Lives Matters and hope that all of this can come out, and all this protest, everybody can come out safe and more aware of kind of our current situation that we're in, not just with the Black Lives Matter movement, but also the pandemic and just society as a whole, that we respect each other more and respect our voices. And so for those that are fighting the good fight and, going out and contributing to the protests and letting their voice count, you have our support, and thank you very much for doing so.
absolutely. All right. So let's jump right into the news this week. We have the final week
Yeah.
of season 3 or season 1 of 2020 Grandmasters. However you want to look at it. This is the 3rd overall season
Yep.
since the implementation of Grandmasters. And we are down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah.
This weekend we have a relegation match from each region, and then we have the top 4 and finals matches. So as at the time of this recording, the Americas is still going on. So we're going to talk about APAC and EU right now, since those have wrapped, and then we'll check in and see where we are with the last one. So APAC this weekend, we saw Flurry versus Frosty in the relegation match.
Yeah. And one thing to note here, Flurry was in Division A, meaning that
Yes.
in his first initial match, he lost and then lost his second match. So this is Flurry's third opportunity. So far he's 0-2 going
Yes.
into this match versus Frosty, and Frosty, being the bottom of Division B, only got one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Frosty wins this.
No,
I'm sorry, Flurry
wins.
wins this. Both F names. Flurry wins it 3-2, which means
So
Frosty put up a
Frosty
fight.
made him work for it.
Oh yeah, and for that one match, so I mean, some people are not really liking the way the relegation is, but I think it's fair. Flurry had 3 chances to get himself out, and he finally was able to in the third chance.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike other people, which we'll talk about here later. And Frosty, so Frosty, when he lost his last match, that basically doomed him to the last spot and going into relegation, he waved at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up fighting himself out of the automatic relegation and getting into that last spot. I'm wondering if his head just wasn't in a good spot going into this, and if maybe he had been able to maybe right himself mentally, he could have pulled this win over Flurry, who obviously, has had some faltering coming out of Division A and just having a series of losses back to back. But I hope Frosty can get back into the Master System, because I think he's a very good player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in top 4 of APAC, we had Glory defeating Alutimu 3-2, mm-hmm. and we had Surrender defeating Possessi 3-1.
Yeah, so these are some major nosebleed matchups, which APAC has just been a lot of 5-game series, 4-game series. You don't see a lot of sweeps in that region, which tells me that that Grandmaster region is just tight. And this is no different. It's surprising that to even see somebody of the caliber of Surrender in this position where he's hitting his top 4 consistently.
Yeah.
And I've kind of slept on Surrender. I knew he's good, but he's never really kind of getting to finals. And he ended up getting to the finals against Glory and had a chance to punch his ticket to World Championships, which mm-hmm. we would say BlizzCon, but it's not going to be a BlizzCon this year.
Correct.
So we don't know when it's going to be or where it's going to be, but hopefully we'll get that news here soon.
So we had Glory versus Surrender in the finals, and mm-hmm. as Zeroshio kind of alluded to, they took it to all 5 games in the best of 5 match, and Glory defeats Surrender in the finals to become the APAC champion and punches ticket to Worlds.
And this surprises me more than seeing Surrender get to the finals, because Glory's always kind of been a middle of the pack player. And he's been good. Obviously, he's good enough to be in Grandmasters, but he's never been top tier Grandmasters, in my opinion. And he really punched his ticket here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see somebody of the caliber of Glory who tends to play meta decks, but he plays them at a high level. Yeah. And makes some interesting choices in his plays. So it's going to be interesting to see him at World Championships.
All right, so let's move on to the EU.
This is getting exciting.
In the European region, now we've talked about this for the last 2 weeks, how just absolutely stacked Europe is in Grandmasters. So our relegation match ended up being Zim from Division B versus World Champion Hunter Ace in Division A.
Which reminder,
Zeroshio, what happened?
Since he was in Division A, that means he had to lose 2 consecutive matches just to be in this position. And before that, he lost, I think, 2 other matches before he even got to put him in that position. So at this point, he's 0-4 against Zim, who's a brand new Grandmaster that has not had a chance to prove himself. And this was emotional, because Hunter Ace started out 0-2, and you literally saw him pulling his hair out, literally on camera, grabbing the tufts of his hair and pulling on them. The amount of frustration going through his facial expressions was palpable. And then it was almost like a switch went on, and his demeanor changed. I don't know if it was just him accepting the possibility of being relegated, but he almost got into his zone and ended up winning to take it to 5 games, on the verge of a reverse sweep.
I want to point something out, because he actually tweeted and said, I really started to doubt myself while playing today. Ended up not being able to clear my head always, playing afraid, and not having any confidence in my play. And so he actually tweeted this out yesterday, and he said, I'm hoping to get my head right before tomorrow. And as we saw today, he just, he said he just wasn't able to get back to that spot where he was comfortable. And he says, oh, well, looks like Grandmasters is over for me now, but I wanted to let everyone know that I appreciate everyone that has reached out and supported me.
Well, and as you read off, Hunter Ace was relegated.
Yes.
He lost to Zim 3-2. Now, I do want to say congratulations to Zim. He obviously stepped up and kept himself in Grandmasters so that he can prove himself.
This match was the epitome of Zim fighting for his tournament life.
Yeah. And it was epitome of Hunter Ace fighting, too, because this went down tooth or nail. He almost reverse swept Zim. And that last matchup, at one point, with the right top deck, Hunter Ace could have won. But it didn't go that way. Now, Hunter Ace isn't just popularized because he's a world champion. Before that, he was popularized because he was a grinder. He won almost every tournament he put himself in. He won back-to-back-to-back tournaments over in Asia Pacific and the EU areas. Who's to say he can't get on that grind again?
Exactly.
And put himself in a position to qualify back into Grandmasters promotions. And we'll talk more about that later. But there's a chance he could get back on the horse, and we might see him. Probably not for Season 4, but I can't imagine it's not possible for him to get into Season 5 next year. Again, he could run a runner the rest of these 2 seasons and possibly make it. So I think he still gets invites because of his time in Grandmasters.
All right, so let's talk about our top 4 in the EU region.
First off, I'm thinking at this time when the top 4 came on, after all that emotion, these players wanted to get to the pub or something. Because these were fat. I've never seen some of these players, like Bunny Hopper, play this fast. They were just bam, 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 bam. We saw Silvername defeat Boar Control 3-0 with a very unconventional lineup, because Silvername always brings mage.
Yeah.
Whether it's Spell Mage or Highlander Mage or some kind of weird Dragon Mage, because he's a mage player. He's a mage main. That's what he's known for on his stream. And a lot of criticism has come to him because of his insistence on playing mage. Because it's not good it's good on ladder, but it's not good in pressure situations like a conquest lineup or anything like that. And I think he's shutting people up with this lineup and his play of mage. And then we saw Bunny Hopper defeat Yarla again. 3-0.
Right. So after the relegation match that went all 5 games, the next 2 games in the top 4 were boom, 3-0, 3-0.
Yep.
Back to back.
Into the finals
of Silvername versus Bunny Hopper,
where Silvername sweeps him 3-0.
Wow. I mean, they were just playing so fast. I did watch some of this. I watched the Bunny Hopper Yarla match, and I watched the Silvername Bunny Hopper, and I mean, it was just crazy.
And there's a lot of criticism right now in the community after the Silvername Bunny Hopper because Game 3 was it the finals or was it Yarla? I think it might have been versus Yarla.
It was the finals. Silvername versus Bunny Hopper, and Silvername basically won Game 3 on turn 5.
On turn 5 with Puzzle Box.
Yes.
he was able to coin out the Dragoncaster into a free puzzle box, which filled his board with because it cast 2 versions of the 8-cost spell. I can't even remember it. I'm not a mage. That summons the 6-cost minions.
2, yeah, okay.
Where he got 2 Renos and 2 Cairn Bloodhoofs.
Yeah.
And they still had a death rattle attached to them. And,
and
that is a board you can't. So he had a Dragoncaster, 2 Cairns, and 2 Renos on turn 5.
Yeah. Okay, so as you said, anybody on Twitter that follows Hearthstone, I can guarantee you the only thing you're going to see on Twitter right now is people railing on Puzzle Box. Because that's all it is. There's nobody supporting Puzzle Box. In fact, Meaty, Tom Meaty HS, back in April, he posted a poll that said, should Puzzle Box be banned in Hearthstone tournaments? In that poll, almost 600 people voted, and it was a 62.5% no, it should not be banned in Hearthstone tournaments. Well, he just reposted that and said, does anybody want to change their mind? And I mean, people are just going on and on about how bad Puzzle Box is for the Hearthstone tournament meta.
And I disagree. I support cards like Puzzle Box, like Reno, the amazing Reno, the hero card that has random effects tied to it. Can it affect the outcome in a positive way for the player that plays it? Yes, but it also can have very much negative connotations for the player that plays it. And here's the situation. If the match was 2-2 and Silvername was relying on his mage, I don't think he makes that play.
Okay.
Not on turn 5. He might make it late in the game when he thinks he's behind. But you think about it. He's like, I'm in what he might consider an unfavored matchup. I can roll the dice on this and win, or I can lose like I expect to lose. And if I lose, I just go to game 4. I got another chance. So this was a decision he made to put his hands in Yogg, and it paid off for him. It very well could have not paid off for him. It could have, fireballed his face or fire blasted his face. It could have done many things. Of course, him playing it on 5 was, even if it did negative things, he probably could have recovered because he would have had time. But I think Puzzle Box is a choice. And one thing to remember, if you watch this match, he kept Dragoncaster and Puzzle Box Yogg Saron in the mulligan. It wasn't something he mulliganed and got them. He actively chose on turn 0 to keep these 2 cards, knowing that he might need to rely on them. And I'm sure if he had gotten a higher quality, a power creation or something like that, if he would have drawn into that, he probably would have done that instead of the Yogg. But he thought to himself, and this is just from my anecdotal kind of evidence that I saw, he had to have thought to himself, hey, this is my best chance to either win this right on turn 5 or I just go into game 4.
Yeah.
So
yeah. With the, we know, Zerosho, you are for Puzzle Box, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something to it when all of your former Grandmaster tournament champion players say this is bad for the game.
So sure, because they play high percentage decks and they rely on their skills.
Yeah, so that be allowed in high percentage skill play? Or should that be relegated to just a ladder card? Is it time we have, like Magic the Gathering has, and have a separate list of say, restricted cards that are not valid in tournament play?
I don't think so, because then you kind of X out those players that might, like a Super JJ, who relied on that to excel at his highest peak in competitive play, like Silvername, who relies on that on occasion. And again, there has to be some level of consistency with it, whether it's the timing that you play it or whatnot, because Silvername's in Grandmasters, so he's obviously been doing well enough playing this style of game. If we omitted those style of cards, we might not have somebody like Silvername going to the World Championships, which I'm really excited for, because Silvername's likely going to bring Mage, because he always brings Mage, but he's going to bring decks and lineups that are out of the norm, that have to make those players play either suboptimally to play around that mindset, or play in a different way to excel. Okay. It'll make guys like Bloody Face, like the Language Hackers, like the high percentage players, play a tighter game to play around those fail safes. Do I think Silvername will win World Championships with playing that kind of lineup? I don't. I'm excited to see him there, but I don't think he's going to win the championship that way. Okay. But it's exciting to see that happen and have somebody nobody had on their radar qualify for World Championships. There are people that have literally come on Twitter within few hours that he's qualified, saying that he doesn't deserve to be there. And
well, I mean, he won the game. You know,
and he got to that point.
He got there. Now, they may disagree with how he won the game, and that seems to be what the majority of people are arguing about, is how the game ended. But I get it. So,
and I think the problem with a lot of people is they historically Silvername has relied on that kind of high rolly style of deck, and honestly, I'm somebody who has relied on high roll style decks. I've played a Holy Wrath Paladin till I was blue in the face and did very well with it. And sure, I set up the combo. It happens according to plan. I hit him 25 in the face. I win the game. But there were times that I had to rely on a 1 in 17 chance, a 1 in 15 chance, maybe even just as little as a 1 in 4 chance to hit my Holy Wrath for lethal, and it did. Now, does that mean that that deck should be omitted from
tournament play?
Tournament play too? There's going to be an element of randomness and high rollness. Where do you cut that line at?
Right.
If you omit Yogg and say Puzzle Box Yogg Sean is too random, we can't play it, well then I'm just going to come up with a laundry list of other cards or combos or decks that rely on randomness and say, then you have to do these two. Now, I am seeing a trend in the direction that there are less of these cards being printed. Combo is not being supported as well as it used to be. And I think that's a change in mindset. And it makes me sad because I like combo style decks. But that may mean that they're trending towards higher percentage style decks. And to me, that means you're just going to have 4 classes, the 4 highest percentage classes, played every single tournament with no form of randomness, no form of variance. And that's boring, in my opinion.
Okay. If
we had that kind of environment, Silvername wouldn't be bringing Mage, and then he wouldn't be going to World Championships with it.
Yeah.
So, 2-3-0 victories against the top players in EU right now, there's something to it other than just variance.
Okay. All right, that brings us to the Americas. Now, as I mentioned, this region is still underway. We have seen the relegation match, though, between Nalgadon and Purple. And this was big, Zeroshio. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is another one that went to 5 games. And I have not been quiet about, again, Nalgadon was from Division A, and he lost 2 in a row to put himself in this position. I'm not been quiet about my thoughts that I think Nalgadon is overrated. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he puts in the practice time. He also has some very questionable bans given the lineup he chose to bring and the lineups he's facing. He consistently doesn't ban Warrior and consistently loses to Warrior almost always game 1, or the first game he faces it. He, in my opinion, takes things a little more relaxed than he should in his prep. That being said, he played really well against Purple. At one point, again, Purple was in a position that if he hit the right high roll or hit the right draw in Game 5, he would have won. But Nalgadon took it 3-2, and Purple is being relegated.
Yeah.
Now, Purple has been in the Hearthstone scene since I remember.
Oh, yeah.
He helped Firebat prepare for his World Championship and then entered into the pro scene the following year. And he is one of the top performers in Americas. So it's really surprising to see Purple relegated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the situation changed, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, Nalgadon was actually in a good position to get re-promoted if he got relegated.
Yes.
But Purple is not. So it's kind of bittersweet, because I was thinking to myself, Nalgadon can afford to lose this. And it's not me saying that Nalgadon should have thrown it. I don't think that should ever happen. But if Purple pulled this off, I wouldn't have felt as bad for Nalgadon, because Nalgadon had a very high chance of being promoted. Currently, he's in a promotion slot. It would just depend on the next 2 events to come up before Season 4. So it's kind of sad, because I don't know where that lands Purple, because I don't have the numbers on him. But it's probably going to be hard for him to get back up, because I haven't seen him competing at a high level in these Masters tours. Right. So I don't know how long. Now, Purple's a grinder, and a lot of his close friends are in Grandmasters and in the Masters tour. So I expect, just because he likes hanging out with his friends and eating pizza, that he will probably keep going to these events or competing in these events so he can get back up to this position. And I think he can. Purple is definitely a grinder. He's very analytical. He's a good player.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us to the top 4 in Americas, which has Eddie versus Just Sayin and Bloody Face versus Empanizado.
So currently, Eddie versus Just Sayin is in game.
They just finished game 3. Eddie won 2-1. So Eddie's up 2-1 right now.
Eddie's up 2-1 right now. Over Just Sayin, and then we have Bloody Face to play Empanizado, which I'll tell you, we've not been quiet about this. We're strong supporters of Bloody Face. He's been on the show a couple times, 3 times, something like that. We've met him in person. We were at the Apex, well, not the Apex. We were at the start of his climb through his Hearthstone Championship tour.
Yeah,
when he just fell out in top 16, and then followed it up by getting top 8, qualifying for the Hearthstone Championship playoffs, and then eventually got to World Championship, where he got second last year.
Yeah.
To VK Lion. So I want Bloody Face to win, but Empanizado, of all the players in the Latin America, I think is the most prepared and does the most planning. And it's not been a secret that some of the other Latin American players have said they're playing Empanizado's lineups, or Empanizado helped him practice, or they credit Empanizado for getting them where they were. And to see him in the top 4, he deserves it.
Yeah.
And I love to see the Latin American representation at this level, where I think Nalgadon has faltered in his Grandmaster time. I think Empanizado has excelled. He prepares really well. He practices really well. And I'm glad to see him in this top 4. I hope he loses, because we root for Bloody Face. But, that's just a personal preference. But if anybody could beat Bloody Face, it could be Empanizado. So this is going to be a really good matchup. I'm excited to see who wins this.
Yeah. All right. So that brings us to what you had just kind of alluded to. So Hockey Boys put out a tweet just a couple hours ago. Said, I made a spreadsheet of the top players with the most earnings in both of the Masters Tours that have happened this year. The top 3 players from each region will move up to Grandmasters. He says, I did not include any Grandmasters that didn't get relegated except for Nalgadon since he's up for relegation. Well, we know Nalgadon won, so that removes him from the talk of getting a spot because
Yes.
he maintains his spot. So in the Americas,
And do you have it pulled up fresh because it just updated? I
well,
literally saw the lines just move a little bit. He's made some
uh,
updates in the last 30 minutes.
okay. So yes, I have it pulled up. So for the North America, you have your top 3 contenders. I should say top 4 contenders for Grandmasters are Brimful and No Hands Gamer, who pretty much have the 1 and 2 slot locked down.
As a matter of fact, they're tied for the most earnings.
They are tied for most earnings.
Well, it's funny too because Brimful got 11,000 from Arlington, where No Hands Gamer only got 2,250, but then turned around in LA and No Hands Gamer got the 11,000 prize, where Brimful got the 2,250. So they're identical, just at 2 different events. And then following up that is Killing All Day and Impact
are tied,
who are tied at 7,000. Now, just a little below that, and this is where it's been updated. He took Nalgadon out of the list, but he's added Papa Jason, who's sitting at the 6th place slot, and he's not that far. If he takes a big winning in the next 2 Masters Tours, he could get re-promoted. Now I don't see Purple on this list, so I'm guessing he hasn't gotten any close enough to make it in the top 15. He may not have any
tournament paid winnings.
He might not, but this only shows the top 15 in America.
Right.
Which may be all there is because there was a lot of repeat winners. But you have some big names in here. Dabs is in here. Innovation, the Last Champ. I've played against the Last Champ in THL. He's a really good competitor. So yeah, it's going to get exciting the next 2 Masters Tours.
Yeah. So, moving on to EU. On the EU side, we have X Blizes, who is far and away ahead of everybody else as he won both Arlington and LA back to back. He was the grand prize first place in both of those, grand champion in both of those. So he is far and away ahead of anybody else in prize money at 65,000.
And mathematically cannot be passed up in the promotion ranks because the amount of prize money that people could earn will not knock him below 3rd place.
Correct.
So it's impossible for him at this point, unless he chooses not to not be chosen for promotion into Grandmasters. And he's a really good
European Grandmasters. Yeah, so X Blizes is almost, for as we said, like 99% guaranteed to get in.
I think he's another one of the French players. He's part of that Solari contingency that just barely missed the cut because of all the other French players qualifying last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting.
Then in 2nd place you have A-Rock. A-Rock is in 2nd place at 26,000, and then you have Totosh. Now Totosh is somebody we've talked about before.
Oh yeah.
And you know he was in that cutoff run, I think, at the end of season 1 to get into season 2 and just missed. So he's bringing up the 3rd place, and he's almost double, or he is more than double the winnings of 4th place. So those 1st, 2nd, and 3rd should be pretty well locked. We'll have to see what happens in the next Masters Tour.
When you're looking at 32,500 for 1st place, it's a possibility they can't, if they don't place it all in the money, and one of these people that are just below him
Right.
in the next 5 or 6
Like
slots
Fury Hunter
wins.
or Zim. Zim is
One-
in
yeah.
8th.
One thing to note, Zim is in here, is in 8th at that block that's like 4,500, 4,350. There's a bunch in that lock.
Phenomenal is in
Phenomenal.
11th, yeah.
He's in there. Paveling book. I would love just to have him, just his name.
Mhm.
Disdemon is in there. So really good names in that kind of. This is what I've been saying. EU kind of has the strongest contingency of big players. So it could be that any one of these players jump into that second or third slot, which would be, well, Zim is in this list, but Zim is not up for relegation anymore because he won his spot. So that one doesn't matter. But yeah, it's EU for the most part looks locked.
Yeah.
But it's not as fluid as NA is, or as America's is. So
right. All right. So that brings us to APAC, and in the APAC region, again, it's pretty much a glaring difference between first, second, and third, and then everybody else. First, you have Allen 870806, who won 15,000 at Arlington and 850 in LA, and then you've got Bankyugi, who did not place in Arlington and then took home 15,000 in LA.
Yeah,
which come into second.
And see, that tells me that Bangyuki had one really good tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't do well, if he does like he did in Arlington, and one of these other ones below him, like Staz, who we know is a good player out of the APAC region, could jump up above him, because you can't just win one tournament and expect to get into the Grandmasters. You kind of have to have some high placements, some multiple top 8s. So, and then Tiz is that rounds out that third slot. And so it's not as many people in the running right now. There's only 10 players kind of in that prize money mix in APAC. So it'll be exciting to see where that goes. But APAC, I don't want to say they're the weakest region. They don't show the most consistency.
Yeah.
They have some of the strongest players in that Grandmaster pool and in that Masters pool, but they don't show as much consistency as especially the EU players or even some of the Americas players. So we might have somebody who's not even on this list.
Right.
Win one of these two tournaments, and then all of a sudden we have somebody we don't even know, or somebody that's not on this list that we do know just gets shot up into the promotion bracket.
Yeah. So again, big shout out, thank you to Hockey Boys for putting that together. That was awesome. So that brings us to the next Masters Tour, which is next weekend. Yangko Ping is happening. Was going to happen there at DreamHack. DreamHack's not happening, so they're doing the event online, June 12th through the 14th.
That's this coming weekend.
That is this coming weekend. It'll be very interesting to see what happens there. And
that's
then
my birthday weekend.
The 4th Masters Tour of the year, I guess. Well, it'll be the 4th of the season. I don't know how they.
Well, they doubled them up.
Okay.
So they only had one per
region.
One per season.
Okay.
And then they doubled them up to 2 per season. So we had Arlington and LA, which LA was supposed to be in Sweden.
Gotcha.
And then we have, for going into the next season, we have 2, and then after season 3 starts, we'll have 2 more. So.
Okay. So the APAC region Masters Tour will be happening online July 16th through the 19th. So. Yeah. All right.
And that one they never disclosed a location, but I don't think they're going to at this point, because they're probably not even going to have a location. It's probably going to be online. I expect we're probably going to have all online qualifiers, and everything's going to be online, probably through even next year.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is send in the Murlocs. Murlocs have taken over the tavern. Choose a class and get a deck of random class spells and a whole mess of Murlocs. So I have not done this Tavern Brawl yet, but
I actually forgot about it last night because I was grinding hard. I've been grinding the last few days preparing for THL. I was substituting in Hero Series for Robobson, and then of course I had my match for the Pod People in Legacy Series.
Yeah.
And I decided to push Legend last night with Pure Paladin, and I got it. And then I was like, I haven't done the
Tavern Brawl.
Tavern Brawl at all. And for some reason, I had it in my mind like it was Monday night. I don't know why. And I was like, oh no, Tavern Brawl is going to expire tomorrow. So I felt like I had to do it. Which I was being home, just my week's totally off.
Yeah.
But I ended up beating it. And it took me 2 games. One of the things you get is you get the Shaman quest, Unite the Murlocs, automatically, no matter what class you pick, on turn 1.
Okay.
And
for the first time in a while,
you can pick Demon Hunter as an option.
Yes.
Now it's a random deck, but I'm excited that they're incorporating Demon Hunter into some of these older Tavern Brawls. It gives me hope that they'll maybe do some more in the future. But after I won my match, I got my pack, and I got a Golden Tyrion.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
So I think I'm going to wait till the last minute to do my Tavern Brawls from now on. Because I have all the legendaries, so I did get a golden. So it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, that brings us to this week's deck list. And we were trying to find a deck that we haven't played yet that you might run into on the ladder. And I'll tell you.
Or, because it's the first of the month, you might want to play this. Because they're fast games. And it's got a pretty good high win rate.
And then go take a shower because you'll feel dirty afterwards.
True.
We are talking about Pirate Warrior.
How could we say that? We played Demon Hunter last week. You're not going to feel any dirtier playing this than you would playing Demon Hunter.
I don't know. This deck, man. All right. So I'll run down the deck list, and then I'll turn it over to Zeroshio to talk about how the deck plays if, by chance, you don't know how this degenerate deck works. All right, it is as follows. 1 Blood Cell Corsair, 2 Imprisoned Gnarg, 2 Sky Raiders, 2 South Sea Deckhands, 2 Blood Cell Raiders, 2 Corsair Cash, 2 Parachute Brigand. Then you have the Warrior Pirate legendary weapon Ankar. Then you've got 1 Iron Beak Owl, 2 Live Wire Lance, 2 Sky Barge, 2 South Sea Captains, 2 Dread Corsairs, 2 Horde Pillagers, 2 Corcoran Elite, 2 Mortal Strikes, and 1 Arcanite Reaper.
Yeah, so this is where you put the cardboard divider that only has your opponent's face cut out. And I played this in my Hero Series match versus Sanguine. And at one point she developed on the board, and I was thinking, I need to clear that. And then I was like, no, I'm playing Pirate Warrior, just go face. And it was the right choice. It set me up for a 2-turn lethal and won me the game. So really, you just throw your pirates on the board and go face. You want a mulligan for your early threats, the Sky Raiders, the South Sea Deckhands. You want to try to get a weapon early or a Corsair Cash, one or the other. The Blood Cell Corsair is specifically for the Demon Hunter and the Hunter matchups, because a lot of times they will have a weapon that only has 1 charge left, like the Warglaive, and you want to take that charge. Also, if it is a Warglaive, that's 1 less minion they can hit. So even if you're not taking the last charge off, they can't hit multiple minions with it if you take a charge off, or they can't hit as many. And then, of course, the hunters have the hammer that doesn't lose durability if you have a dragon in play. So taking that last durability off of that is very helpful, because a lot of times they'll swing it once without fear of losing it, but then they only play a dragon with that 1 durability. And the Blood Cell Corsair will remove it. So, and it'll remove it even if there's I think it'll do it even if there's a dragon in play. I'm not sure. I haven't ran into that matchup, or in that scenario. But that's what those 2 that's what that card is, to counter those two matchups. So if you don't see Hunter or Demon Hunter, you probably don't need to keep it in the mulligan unless you really need an early 1-drop. And then, of course, Arcanite Reaper. If you can get it on 5, play it on 5, because you have Horde Pillager, and you might just be a Horde Pillager away from lethal by playing it and getting an Arcanite Reaper. And mind you, there is some watered downness in the weapons in here with Ankar, and then, of course, the Fiery War Axe that Imprisoned Gennard gives you. So you might not always get the Arcanite Reaper, but hey, any percent chance to win the game is a percent chance to win the game. So
right. Yeah. All right. Well, I am looking forward to playing this deck some, I guess.
Are you?
I actually don't have this deck built. I actually have, and honestly, the only cards I know for a fact I'm missing are Live Wire Lances. I have never opened a Live Wire Lance or crafted them.
They're safe. They are definitely a safe craft.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of because right now we're just in a 4-set meta, not a 6-set meta. Right. So we have 2 more sets to go through for the rest of this year. So you have a lot of time that you could utilize them. So now's the time to craft them, in my opinion, because a lot of good warrior decks, including no hands list, utilizes it. So and No Hands Gamers is on the verge of being promoted into Grandmasters possibly. Yeah. So which brings up a whole nother conversation we'll save for another show if he gets promoted about Nose Door Move, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show where we're going to take this deck and try to win a best 2 out of 3 with it. If you are listening via the audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right. Well, I am loaded and ready to go.
I am loading up now.
I do have a pack to open after the games tonight. I forgot I did not open my Tavern Brawl pack from last week.
Sorry, I have a pack on my side. It's for the pain in my back. And I had to turn it back on because it only lasts for 30 minutes.
Make sure your spectate is on from your THL games this week.
I did that this morning, as a matter of fact. And that should be the right deck.
Top 2,000 in Legend.
Yeah, I mean, I just got into Legend. I think I popped in at 1,300. So I didn't see where I was now. But
I've got you at 1907.
So I've decayed a bit since last night.
Yeah.
But because I haven't played any Legend games yet.
All right. Well, looks like we're up against your boy, a Paladin, first.
So this is probably pure Paladin. So if we get a really fast start, we should be able to get him down pretty quick.
Okay. So obviously, we're gonna probably keep the Imprisoned Gennard and the Blood Cell Raider.
I definitely like that, and the Corsair, because remember, once the Imprisoned Gennard goes off,
we get the
our Corsair goes to 1.
Yeah.
So I think we can throw the Iron Beak. We'll want the Iron Beak later for taunts.
Okay.
But I like this hand. Obviously, playing Blood Cell Raider on 2 doesn't feel great.
No, you would want to play it on 3 after the.
So
after the
we're hoping for a
2
2-drop. Okay, well that's not bad because we can
coin
into
Live
Wire
Lance, but
the problem is our Live Wire Lance will immediately get eaten up.
Yeah.
So Sungill still could mean it's a slower a slower paladin because a
Mhm.
lot of them put Sungills in. I've taken them out of mine because I think they're trash.
Okay.
But this could be Murloc. I think we just play the Imprisoned Gunnar.
Okay.
The thing is if we coin out Livewire Lance next turn, which is a viable option, it is going to be overwritten by the... We're going to lose the durability on it because it'll be overwritten by the Fiery War Axe.
There's the Aldor. So
this is Libram.
we know it's... Well,
Ooh.
there's our 2-drop.
Well, I wouldn't want to just play it.
Yeah,
so
that's
I think
true.
we coin out the South Sea Deckhand, which contests the 1/3, and it will bring out the Parachute Brigand as a 3/3.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Yeah. That's a good use for the coin.
Yep. We'll place him on the left. There really isn't anything in Paladin that's going to target a minion and the adjacents, but you know, always play smart. So we're going to get the Fiery War Axe, and we'll be able to play Bloodsoul Raider and Corsair.
So there's the Underlight.
So this is the Libram. Looks like pure Paladin because they're running Sungills and Underlight. So we got the Fiery War Axe still with the 1/3. And then I think we just Bloodsoul Raider and Dread Corsair.
Yeah. And do you use the 2/2 to clear the 2/1? The Sungill?
I don't think so. I think
You
we
use
go
it?
face.
Okay.
So we'll play the Bloodsoul Raider and a Dread Corsair. And the only... Well, I think we might just go... So he trades the...
Do you want to go all face with all 5 points?
I think we do. Because he's going to have to make some choices. He's probably going to put his minions into the 3/3. Well, he'll put his face into the 3/3 and then minions into the 5/3. So he's gonna clear himself.
Okay.
But if we use our face to clear the 1/3, one of our 2/2s might survive next turn.
Okay.
So yeah, let's clear the 1/3. We'll clear the 1/3 and then go face for 2. The reason is because he likely will send the 2/1 and 1/1 into the 3/3.
Into the 5/3.
And then the weapon into the 3/3, 2/1, 1/1 into 5/3, and then he doesn't have a clear way to clear the 2/2s.
So there's the face.
Where if he had the 1/3 up earlier, he would.
He's equipping. Oh, okay.
I don't mind this at all.
A full clear. Okay.
Do we Corcoran face?
I don't see why not.
I think we just Corcoran face.
Yeah.
Because he's getting to a point, he's got 2 reductions. So that means his big heal is 7 mana now. So we need to get him down before then.
There's the True Silver.
That's 4 damage, 2 damage to his face.
Yeah.
So we're going to Livewire Lance. Ooh. That's going to be good. So that means we want to put less on the board so that he hits us in the face. So yeah, we Livewire Lance, go face.
Yeah.
See what... Hopefully we get a shoot. Nope. Titanic.
Okay.
Maybe we just armor up.
Yeah,
Do
I
we
think
wanna
so.
armor up?
Just
'Cause we
armor
wanna
up and...
Yeah. I think we just armor up, yeah. I don't want to put any minions that are just going to die. He's effectively at 13 because of the heal of the True Silver. And he kind of has to swing it at our
And
face.
there's a life steal minion.
Well, we can Mortal Strike that. Now he's trying to put counter pressure on the board.
Yeah.
Now, if he has the heal, the other Libram of Hope next turn.
Oh, wait. 4? Oh, shoot. We don't have enough mana.
No, we don't.
4, 5, 6.
So we shoot the face.
Yeah.
That's happening because we want to see what lucky we get. We kind of have to Mortal Strike the 2/3.
Yes, we do. And then just hero power pass.
Yeah, I'm wondering about Titanic Lackey, Witchy Lackey, and Titanic Lackey. Nah, that's weak. Yeah, Hero Power Pass. He will play this, which means Libram of Hope is likely coming out now because it is now 7 mana.
Right.
So face, Libram of Hope on his own face. No. Okay.
So so you're saying, oh no, Amber Watcher. Yeah.
That's bad, but it's not as bad.
Well, it's not good because we don't have any damage in our hand. We have 4 burst, and that's it.
Yeah, but he's only representing 14 on the board, so he doesn't have lethal. So I think we Corcoran face. Witchy Lucky the Corcoran. See what 5-drop we can get.
Titanic Lackey it.
Well, we don't need to Titanic Lackey it now.
So do we Titanic Lackey the Witchy?
I think we just Parachute Brigand.
Okay.
Because that's effectively 3 points of healing. Possibly more depending on how he trades. 1 point of healing, but still. Oh. That's probably going to lock us out. Because even if we get a silence for that, we don't have enough burst. This is a tough matchup, though, too, because
that's game.
This is a good way to beat Pirate Warrior. It's just out heal them.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good push.
Okay.
Again, I love seeing Pirate Warrior on the ladder when I'm playing Pure Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Because of I can out heal their damage.
Right. All right, let's try again.
Now, again, remind you, I am playing in Legend Ladder. So the style decks you're going to see might very much differ. Now, in the Demon Hunter matchup, you just race.
Right.
Wow.
Just keep this whole hand?
Yeah, the Bloodstone Raider seems a little clunky, but it might be one we just play on 2. But I think we keep this, because on 3 we can South Sea Deckhand
charge.
With the charge. And we might trade a bit more, depending on what value minions he has. So we'll go start with Gnarg. We hope he Hero Powers hits us in the face.
Nope, Battle Fiends.
He doesn't coin out the Hero Power. That's interesting. So I think we just play the Bloodstone Raider to
kill the Battle Fiend.
Just to contest
into it. Yeah.
What he'll probably do is he'll utilize his resource and hit it with his face. And what he's expecting is he'll get as much damage as he can off of his demon, hit us in the face, and then we're just going to clear it with our axe. But we don't. Whoa! This is aggressive.
Race is the word.
So if he wants to race, I say we just race.
Goodness. Oh, yes. So Blood Sail, trade into the 2/2, and then play the or play the South Sea and trade. Play the Blood Sail and just go face.
Do we trade with the Blood Sail, the South Sea, or do we hit it with our face and leave our South Sea up?
No, that
works. We lose 1 damage now, but he has to deal with that.
Okay, that works.
He has to deal with it. We got, and in this matchup, we could get down to Mortal Strike win, because he's going to want to hit us in the face. Freezing the 5/3, okay.
That's fine. So now we're going to trade.
He didn't freeze our face.
That's right.
So we hit that with our face.
Yeah.
Go face and Corcoran, right?
Yep.
We got Arcanite next turn. Wow. He should have traded or done something to get rid of one of our minions. It tells me his hand's really clunky. He has a lot of late game demons.
Coin.
Probably holding 2 Skull of Gul'dans.
Warglaze.
Oh, take it. Just take it. How many minions? He's got to clear the 5/3. He's just dead. He's just dead.
Yep.
He's just dead. He's just dead. There you go.
All right, 1-1.
Nice. That's how you win the other aggro matchups. You just race them.
Yeah.
You at least have the armor to kind of build up. He has the cheap attack hero power, and so he kind of has that edge in the race. But we have armor that negates his hero power twice.
Yeah. All right. Game 3 for the best of 3. Mage.
We've just got to push. Because he's going to want to freeze our board.
So throw all of this back?
Yeah, I think we throw all of this back. There's a merit to keeping the Livewire Lance.
If we were on the coin, would we keep Livewire Lance?
I think if we were on the coin, we would keep the Livewire Lance. Yes. Actually, if we were on the coin, we keep Livewire Lance and Horde Pillager.
Okay.
But we're not, so we want those 1 and 2s. I wouldn't mind a Corsair cast.
Oh, not good.
This is not good. This is real bad. We got nothing on 2. We might have to Skybarge on 3.
We'll hero power on 2 if we don't draw anything. Yep, hero power.
This is probably going to give them the evidence that we are control. And they might slow play us a bit. They might just ping our face.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. These are Skybarge.
Yeah. And then Dread Corsair next
This
turn.
This is a bad
Hard
draw.
casting a Dread Corsair on 4.
Yeah. Polymorph. I don't hate that he polymorphed that.
And he used his coin to do it.
Do we just Korkron?
I think so. And hit him for 5.
Yeah, I want to develop the Imprisoned Gennard, but I don't have anything to put out with it. And we're way behind right now. Yeah, he used his coin to polymorph that. We silence that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Are we ever going to get to the point where the prime's going to matter?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think we can Narg and Korkron and go face.
Okay.
We got to get an edge somewhere. And right now, all we got is early damage. I mean, we're bad. We're way behind. But if we start clearing and dealing with his minions, we're going to get further behind. Ping trade, okay. Because if we get to a point where he plays Solarian Prime and it beats us, we were going to lose that game anyways.
Right.
This is likely a barrier. Okay, Skyraider or something.
Yeah.
Give us something good. I'll take it.
Oh.
Holy Nova doesn't hit face anymore.
Yeah.
A Soul Mirror might give us a swing back turn. But embalming it can just get rid of a
taunt.
Embalming can just get rid of a taunt. I like embalming here.
Okay.
Because it might be what we need to then swing face for lethal. I mean, we have the Iron Beak, but we might need both Iron Beak and embalming because if they use
okay.
So we can silence. We can silence the Bone Wraith. Did we? I think we silenced the Bone Wraith and just go face.
Yeah.
Silence the Bone Wraith and we just push face. Right?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to clear the
the ice.
barrier.
I knew the ice barrier was going to happen.
And just pass, yeah.
Yeah, and so next turn we can we can swing face, Horde Pillager, Dread Corsair, and Skybarge. Not Skybarge first, and then
Right.
the other two pirates. Like we got to clear that because it's spell damage. So we clear that, and then we
Skybarge,
Horde Pillager, because we're guaranteed to get
yeah.
a Fiery War Axe.
So Dread Corsair first. What is it?
No,
well,
we hit face. We
okay,
clear the
no, because it
minion first.
equips. So yeah. Hit face first. I couldn't remember if Horde Pillager put the weapon back in your hand or not.
I don't want the extra spell damage, and we're gonna get damage to face now, anyways.
Right.
So Skybarge first, then the Horde Pillager,
Yeah. Then the
Dread Corsair. Okay, we're starting to pull this back. So he freezes our board this turn with either Blizzard or
Reno, which
that
clears.
Exactly clears us.
Yeah.
Exactly 10.
Acidic Swamp Ooze, which is fine.
Fine.
So now we just
Arcanite Reaper.
Arcanite and go face.
Do we play a minion just to contest? We play South Sea Deckhand?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. He'll think he needs to clear it.
That's the whole reason, is just to give him something to clear. Oof. Scale Lord, okay. So it did his job and cleared a minion.
Okay.
So we swing face.
Swing face.
Horde Pillager. Probably should have played Dread Corsair first, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. Dread Corsair. Then do we Imp Balming the 8/8?
Chances of there being another taunt, you got to weigh that.
Good call. Let's armor up.
Let's armor up. I think we can take the damage.
The only problem is if the dragon he got was a 7/7 taunt that can't be targeted.
Right.
But I think if he got that for 0, he would have played that.
There's Solarian Prime.
Ugh. This going to be bad for us. We just don't want to freeze our face. So what wins us? Mortal Strike? South Sea Deckhand right now. Wait, what's he show? 17?
7. Yeah, he's got 18.
2 off lethal.
Yeah, he's 2 off lethal.
We got a few draws. Corsair Cash is not one of them.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't help us. I mean, we could... Okay. Swing it for 3. Okay, hear me out here. If we swing it for 3, get Ethereal Lackey, and Ethereal Lackey, so that's 4 mana, gives us Mortal Strike, we win.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Ethereal Lackey? No, okay. It was a try. It was an out. Okay, you gotta play to your outs, right?
It was an out, yeah.
I mean, but think about it. You got a 1 in 6 to hit Ethereal Lackey, and then a 1 in 27 to hit Mortal Strike. So I mean, it's doable, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you have to play to your outs. That's
yeah. Absolutely.
That's kind of the story. And this is something else. And again, I'm not by no means comparing myself to a pro player, but it's the pro players that identify outs like that rely on randomness.
Right.
So there is some level of how many people right there would have been like, oh, I didn't draw my lethal and then just conceded.
Yeah.
But I was able to at least see the small percentage out.
Right.
Which, again, like I said, I'm not a pro player, but I consider myself a good player. And it's players like Silvername and a few others out there that kind of excel at things like that. And so, again, going back to the argument of why Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron should not be banned, or any card shouldn't be banned, is because of that skill set that is involved in predicting the randomness.
Yeah.
Or at least calculating the randomness, if not predicting it.
Right. All right. Well, I want to throw a shout out to one of our viewers, Sergeant Teabag. He made it into a Trollden video this week. If you haven't seen it,
he sure did.
Check it out. It's hilarious and awesome. So go check that out. But all right, guys, that's gonna do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't done so already. And give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details about our patron-only Discord, head on over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.